Hello, welcome to the booth. I'm in my little warm-up stage. I am finishing up the last two chapters of the Road Ghosts Omnibus, the third book, and then I have the short story to try to knock out tonight too. So I'm here trying to warm up. I did all the trills and all that annoying stuff off camera. But what I'm going to do, and I got this idea from Matt Godfrey, and if you aren't listening to Matt Godfrey's narrations, you are doing yourself a huge disservice because he's awesome. So you should. The first narration I heard him do was of Valancourt Books' The Nest, which has a huge 80s horror buff. Man, oh man. What a listen. So good. Good stuff. So I'm going to read. He does this when he warms up. He reads out of a book. I am going to read a portion, probably pretty horribly, because I'm just getting warmed up in here, from the movie novelization by Alan Dean Foster of Outland. Even in space, the ultimate enemy is man. So, we'll do this. I haven't read this. What's good about doing this is you kind of get better at spot reading or reading on the spot or whatever you call it. Which I need help. Here we go. Because for auditions, you're going at it. You're reading. You don't really have much time to prep. So it's a good skill to hone. So here we go. Outland, Chapter 1. Nearly everything had to be imported to Io, including love. It wasn't a duty station that inspired fond memories among those who served there. The men and women imported to exploit its surface felt no affection for their temporary home. Merely to tolerate Io required real effort because human emotions and attitudes underwent drastic changes so far from the warm earth, and rarely for the better. Surely it hadn't changed me that much, O'Neill thought. Oh, I gotta do this in the Sean Connery voice, because Sean Connery played O'Neill in the movie. Surely it hasn't changed me that much, O'Neill thought. Sure. The past several years... Sure. The past several... See, I gotta get all this tongue-tied stuff out of the way before I actually start recording. Sure, the past several years had been tough. He was used to places like Io, though. As used to them as any man could get. He was lying in his bed in the darkened room, hands behind his head as he gazed upward. Nearby, a digital clock glowed a soft, mocking green. The ceiling was a sooty black, parodying the space that lay beyond. Parodying the space that lay beyond. A dark veil mirroring the smaller domesticated shadows that populated the bedroom. Usually, O'Neill was able to concentrate fully on his job. But tonight, the shadows had seeped into his head to muddle and worry him. They buzzed his thoughts. Little worries obscuring purpose, indecision, and uncertainty modeling the color of the future. It was a future tied tightly to the supple, silhouetted form that slept next to him. He rolled over and rested on the elbow as he stared at the familiar curves. He rolled over and rested on an elbow as he stared at the familiar curves masked by the loose folds of the thin blanket. Why can't I ever tell you all that I feel? He wondered. Do you know, Carol, how much I depend on you? How much I love you, Aunt Polly? I know I'm not eloquent, and I'm sure as hell no poet, but I'd be lost without you. I'd wish I was confident enough. I'm cracking myself up here. I wish I was confident enough to wake you to tell you that. It was cold outside, colder than most men could imagine, let alone would ever experience. Inside, here, now, In this quiet bed, it was warm and comfortable and reassuring. How nice it would be to have that feeling all the time, instead of just for a few hours each day during the unconsciousness of night. That wasn't possible, he reminded himself. His was a cold job, one that matched the nature of Io's environment. Someday soon, perhaps. Here we go. Someday soon, perhaps, he promised himself, as he promised the woman sleeping alongside him. Just one more tour. Here we go. Sean Connery voice. Just one more tour, Carol. Just one more. He reached out and ran a hand along the curve of her hip, down the gentle swell of her side, up to her shoulder. The tips of his fingers touching lightly her cascading hair, and then onto her cheek. At the touch, she stirred lightly in her sleep. So beautiful, he thought. Even when she's turned away from me, even when she's asleep, so beautiful. I can't lose her. Can't risk it. Definitely the last assignment. The company and the rest of them could all go to hell. Some things were more important than a lousy job. A part of him was dimly aware that he'd said that before, only for resolution to slip stealthily away, for commitment to vanish. But this time, I'll mean it, he told himself. This time will be the last. He touched her again, his hand moving lower, the heat of her bare back communicating like a wild. What am I thinking? His hand moving lower, the heat of her bare back communicating like a mild shock through his fingers. She stirred again, pulling the blanket higher around her neck. O'Neill turned away, closing his eyes. Slowly, the shadows haunting his thoughts broke up and went away, to merge with the shadows that filled the bedroom. And he dropped into the light, infrequent sleep that was both trademark and necessity in his work. Mankind had pushed and kicked his frontiers beyond the confines of a single world, beyond his primordial bubble of air. He sent probes searching the moons of Neptune and burrowed deep beneath the surfaces of the moon and Mars. He mined the floating wealth that drifted between the red planet and giant Jupiter. All were harsh and bleak and dangerous. But of them all, none was worse than Io. All right. Whew. I think I'm warmed up now. I'm ready to go. Good stuff. So hopefully got my fumbles out of the way here, and now I could finish up Road Ghosts, get it done, get it edited, mastered, all that stuff, and to all of your ear holes. That's the plan. I'm looking down here at the cameras up there. That's the plan. So thanks for hanging out in the booth. I will see you again when I start narrating John Peyton Cook's Out for Blood for Valancourt Books. Very, very excited to jump into that one. That one will be interesting because I have, I got to do some Russian words. So I have a list of things I need to try to figure out how the fuck to say them. But I'll do it. All right. All of you have a great evening, great day, whatever. I will talk to all of you next time here in the booth.